Hello and happy gaming, everyone. This is Dark Sage Walker, and I actually recorded this episode very early in the morning. It was essentially before I had to open at work, and I was, for some reason, up. I don't know why, I just couldn't sleep that night. And I decided, hey, I almost got done with Bumble the Weird, but for some reason couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong, so I decided to record this run, but did so without voiceover, mostly because it was, 3, 4 in the morning, and my thought process was, hey, maybe I shouldn't wake everyone up while I'm recording this, so I decided to go ahead and do this really early in the morning, and just roll with that. And while I was doing that, I had discovered a few things. I actually think this is some of the better play that I've put together for this game in general. Apologies, apparently I'm still tired. I'm actually even recording the voiceover at about 7 a.m. It's not super early, but it's earlier than I'm normally up, so forgive me if I yawn a little bit. I'm not saying I think all of you are boring, you people suck. No, it's nothing like that. I'm just, a little sleepy. But I've come to understand Bumble the Weird's playstyle a little bit more, and to be fair, what you have essentially is a very high risk, high reward style of gameplay, because Weird plays very aggressively, whereas Mr. Stout plays more defensively. Yeah, as you can see in this turn, I realize, okay, what I'm trying to put together here isn't necessarily going to work. I've got to find some other way to get this to happen. Though, to be fair, I'm pretty sure I found a way to, well, I had a way to put together an ultimate, but, kind of screwed up a little bit. It's okay, mistakes happen. But yes, I'm actively going out of my way to try to understand the game a little bit better. And like I said, I do think that my play is improving. Buzz right was clearly the right move to make there. And a lot of improving in this game, understanding that there is a slightly deeper strategy element to it than, once I gave it credit for. And yeah, the game plays in kind of a casual way, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a super casual game. So once again, I'm realizing that my ambition to create an ultimate move here is not necessarily going to work out. So, time to get aggressive. Now, to be fair, I'm pretty sure these guys don't attack all that, like actually attack. But they do create those little stinkers. But now the cool ultimate comes out, there you go. Never say that a fella can't learn. And that's what I'm picking up on in this game, is that even though things seem to be a very, casual kind of match 3, or in this case match 4 style game, that doesn't mean that that there isn't a deeper layer of strategy here, and it's not all about just, pardon me, about putting together lucky moves. There are ways to make things happen. I'm pretty sure y'all can see exactly what I can see here. I have plenty of time thanks to my defensive buffers. Next turn, we gonna make it rain. Oh, yes. If you've never seen the Bone Ultimate, which I'm sure you have, here it comes. Q Metallica spit out the bone. Such a beautiful move. Yeah, we got 6 moves. So good. Hey, you might as well just do it twice, because why the hell not? Now, to be fair, this is a layer of strategy that I wasn't even aware was in the game. I figured, yeah, it's easy enough to get moves of like 4 and 5. 6 is a little bit more uncommon, but, you know, who has time to put together moves of 7? Well, I mean, you know, if you want to get good at the game, you better learn how to put those moves together. But it's a delicate balance. You have to learn when is a good time to be putting together those larger moves. Wahoo, if it's even a good idea to go for those larger moves. And just go from there. So, like I said, there's very much a deeper strategy element involved in this game than I had originally given credit for. I do think that... Oh! Maybe I need to go back to sleep. I do think that there is more to this game than just it being a casual, like, match blah 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 puzzle game. And I think there's something very positive to be said about that, because Edmund clearly made something that was much more interesting than, you know, just another Bejeweled clone. And there was another instance where I had to abandon my plans of creating an ultimate because everybody was getting aggressive. And to be fair, there has been an article printed about that, where they sat down and talked with Edmund about, oh, hey, let's talk about some of the ways that you put this game together, and outside of just the, oh, that wall battery is going to come in useful later, just you watch. Whew. Why am I so sleepy? Yeah, I was going to record an episode after this too, and I'm thinking, maybe I just need to go back to bed for like another hour. Whew. So, apologies. Sleepy bitch in me wants to come out to play. Admittedly, that was a bit of an accident. You know, watching this again, I'm having fun realizing where not only some of my better plays were, but also some of my mistakes. That watch battery is going to be my best friend in the near future here, just you watch. I remember one thing about this run, and that is that I got a lot of really good elements to work together. Very clearly I'm confused. Even though hindsight is telling me, hey, I see the move, do it. There you go. There you go, meat. You did it! put enough things together, and you'll eventually find your way. And one thing I did remember about this enemy is that boogers stop him pretty dead on. And yes, he barfed all over my board. He's a disgusting boy. What can I say? Yes, it did kind of screw up a lot of my moves. Not gonna lie. And a lot of the little design elements that I noticed about this game are things that Edmund himself confirms. Like, I had noticed that on your first spell room, you're almost always given an option that has nothing to do with your... has nothing to do with your starting spell, so you always have something that works off of a different type of mana than what you have. And, yeah, I think that's fantastic. My boy Edmund really put some thought into this baby. So here you're seeing Bumble the Weird's high risk, high reward gameplay loop. And there we go. I love the idea of norovirus. Apparently, my preferred playstyle for this game is more defensive. I guess that's why Bumble the Stout just really worked for me. And you get 5 more coins to work with. Don't worry, that's going to come into play very quickly. Puzzle damage is a very good thing for Bumble the Weird to have. And you're going to see why that's a big deal. Now, I don't know if the increased spell damage actually does anything. There you go, Bone Spur. So if you have the wherefore-all, don't be afraid to use that guy, because getting an extra trinket is not a bad thing. And you're gonna see that pretty much just matching bones is gonna be the way to go for this run. Now, every bone that we match does, I believe, 3 damage? And also, I can just pretty much use that infinitely. And again, I saw the infinite, but sometimes you just need to work with something else first. But one of the other things that Edmund said in that interview, and I would love to be able to pull it up, but I can't find it for the life of me, but it was brought up that he wanted to create a game that, you know, felt like the sort of puzzle game that he would enjoy playing. Something that was maybe a bit casual, to be fair, but something that also had a deeper strategy element because, you know, instead of just making people feel good about just matching one thing and then getting a bunch of lucky moves, you wanted it to feel deeper than that. And let's be fair, there is still that element of, oh, I just got lucky and got a bunch of good moves. Yeah, that happens. Let's be fair about that. That's just one of the things that you're not going to be able to overcome with this style of game. Unfortunately, I kind of made some mistakes there. I'm going to pay for it with half a soul heart. But my boy hit the norovirus poo and then killed himself, so good times abound. Good times. Splat. And splat. I think this is around when I'm realizing how strong that combination is that I made. And everything is starting to come together. The more powerful bone plays, the spell, it's all starting to click. In hindsight, I now see the larger bone play, but I think that was actually the smarter move there. Sometimes you don't need to make the biggest plays, you just need to make the most effective plays. And there is a difference between doing the biggest plays and the most effective plays. Now here, I'm wondering why I didn't set up the big tooth move, which I now see. There you go. Now I see it. Congratulations, me. We're about to make an ult. Get the old chomper out. Now, one of the things I was afraid of is that by using the chomper, the gas cloud would actually hit me. Which for some reason I'm noticing just kind of disappeared. Smush. I don't know if it was because he created a poo or what. Maybe I just got super lucky. Whatever the case may be, I'm not against just a little bit of fortune. And my reasoning for doing that is basically just to clear out the board a little bit. Sometimes the P moves aren't the strongest moves, but it does factor into one of his spells, and I think that's important. Noro poo. There's another way to do that too, but honestly, I do think the way it happened there is probably at least semi-ideal. And you're gonna see, this is a pretty good run. Mistakes get made, but I don't think every time I look at the board and see another move, I have to tell myself, you know, me from yesterday probably saw that move too, and I get the feeling that, oh, we have another chomper move coming up. We get so many freaking ults. Oops, wrong one. And here, even if this doesn't kill everyone on the board, we're at least getting some free moves. But it does kill everyone on the board. And money for me. Take the black D12. I guess there's a part of me that didn't even think, oh, this is just a super casual game. I don't really look at games in terms of how casual or hardcore they are. Because if you're willing to put the time and dedication into a game in order to get really good at it, any game can be hardcore. Hardcore doesn't just mean, oh, it's for the people that are super like, oh, manly man. No, it's not necessarily what hardcore means. To me, a hardcore game is one that just takes a lot of practice to master. Because if you want to know the truth about what a casual game is, that's every game. I don't mean to say it as in like, oh, you're all wrong about your opinions on what is and isn't a proper freaking game. No. What I'm getting at is that this is, by and large, just a hobby. We do this for fun, which means that just about every game that we play is, in some way or another, just a casual thing that we do. There you go, there's the big old bone move. Yeah, spit out those bones, baby. You know, in one move, we kill the boss. So good. So good. Well, to be fair, a few moves, but you get the idea. The whole debate of, you know, casual versus hardcore, it's not for me. A game is a game. Now, you could also say that games that are hardcore are ones that have, you know, greater elements to them at work. And there you go, there's the other part of the combo, the rib. There you go, Fortune has smiled upon me again. So you could always say that, but yeah, I don't look down upon someone for playing more casual games, because hey, sometimes you just have to have a way to kill some time. Gonna be spitting out more bones here. Yeah, it says -1 move, but trust me, it doesn't matter. Come to me, my skeleton friend. Yes! Yeah, we now have 4 moves to kill 1 enemy. Pretty substantial, if I do say so myself. And I decided against making the ult, even though I saw it was there. So, I mean, yeah, you could call this a very casual game, but I think its design really plays well into the less casual audience, just because there is so much strategy to it. I do think Edmund created something pretty good here. In hindsight, I probably should have gotten rid of that splash damage attack, but oh well. And even now, my current thought process is, let's get rid of that rogue loser. Because you're just going to, your whole thing is going to be trying to make the others better, and I don't like that. Now, I'm not 100% sure what move I'm working with here. Should tell you a lot when even I'm going, I have no idea what I'm doing. Because ultimately a 5 move seemed like the right idea at the time. Again, I don't know why I threw that at him. By the way, Buzz Right, that spell is amazing. I love it. I also didn't realize that every turn that those guys got to perform an action was a turn that they healed. So I'm learning something about every enemy each time I play. Unlike some people who think that the worms are... that with the worms, instead of having to knock all of them down like whack-a-mole, that only one of them is real. Not mentioning any northern lions, I mean names. And the solution here seems pretty obvious to me. But sometimes the best way to make things work is just to experiment with it for yourself. Oh, I think I see what I'm seeing here. Basically, I've got all the time in the world to set up this move. So I think in my heart of hearts, I'm thinking, let's use all these hearts to create myself a soul heart. Pretty sure I use that just to get a little extra damage on the board and make it a little bit easier to take him out when the time comes. Yeah, and that's what present me would have done as well, so I guess past me is still kind of smart. You know, lining up 7 hearts. Gonna make myself a soul heart. And there you go, that's the Mega Love achievement. Working through these achievements pretty nicely. Now another thing that I've noticed that Edmund really does well is that he makes games that don't just take a short amount of time to beat, because I was looking at some of the achievements for this game. Which, yes, there are now achievements for the game, and I'll explain why the game seemed like it launched so incomplete and broken in just a minute. But some of them involve getting through the game multiple times with every character. It's just... And to be fair, you could look at it and go, oh, that's really just unnecessarily time-consuming. Let's do another Mega Bone. Mega Bone, Mega Bone. And he gets to attack for no reason. I now realize it's because they were on the front row from the beginning of the fight, so they didn't have to really prep their movements to get up front to attack. But at the time, I was going, no, they're not attacking now. They get 2 moves, but they're going to waste them because it's the early game. Well, no, it's not exactly how that worked. So again, mistakes are made, but mistakes are also intended to be learned from. There you go. And that actually recharges that item, so I can use it again. You can see why this run is so strong. There's no reason not to do the Mega Chomper. Got all the time in the world. Now, if there's one thing I do have a complaint about when it comes to this game, it's why is there no way to just skip that if you're happy with the spells that you have? And again, I think I have an explanation for that. So one of the things that Edmund said is that even though he's really happy with how the game launched, there's a lot of people with a lot of complaints about how the game feels unfinished and things to that nature. And to that, I would say, yeah, the game does feel a little rushed, maybe a little unfinished. I don't know what to tell you. And the reason why that is once again we can blame our good friends the California wildfires. Because a lot of what actually happened is that I don't know what re-rolling the next row of tiles would do for me. It doesn't seem to help all that much. And basically what happened there is that... pardon me. Is that he had ended up losing a week's worth of work. And even though he had tried to cram in as much extra time as he could, basically trying to get 2 weeks worth of work done for 1 week, what he ultimately decided was that the best way to handle the problem was just to release it, and then basically do a lot of really quick updates in order to get the game, up to snuff. So my current thought process is I gum him up enough so that he doesn't really get to move, and then I can just take advantage of that afterwards. You're going to see why that doesn't quite work in just a little bit here. Now, to my credit, I had intentionally missed there so I could hit him with the bigger hit. And then I use it, and it turns out, oh, he resisted it. Turns out that if he's gummed up too much, he doesn't reveal his weak point. So now it's playing a very delicate game of I only actually want to hit him with like 1 or 2 booger at a time to stall him, but I don't want to flat out make it so he can't move. Because all he's doing is just resisting all the damage. So be prepared, this fight goes on for a little bit while I'm discovering that. He made a little bit of an oops there, but at the same time matching up huge amounts of bone actually isn't all that good for me. What? Back a peg. Yeah, there's Loud Dog. I was wondering when that was going to happen. I think I'm doing that just to have the spell ready for later. Now, and from what I know now, I'm now thinking this would just be a good time to end turn, and it turns out, yes, that's what my past self thought as well. Now, my present self knows that this is a bad idea. And now I'm discovering what the truth is. He needs to actually be able to move in order to even be hit. Now, he gets 3 moves. I only gummed him up twice. I don't know why he didn't become vulnerable there, but, take it with a grain of salt. I'm now also coming to realize that the norovirus play probably wasn't the smartest thing in the world, because now he's just going to be left in the lurch for a little while now without me being able to do anything. So now comes the realization that I have to alter my strategy a bit. By the way, I don't know what I thought I was going to get out of that. Ultimately, that spell is not that useful for this incarnation of Bumbo. Or I could just be wrong about that. There's another 1 damage. So my current thought process, from what I've learned, is if I can hit him once with a booger from, while he's in back, that's probably ideal. Or if he's in the second row, hit him twice. Yeah, as I'm sure you're imagining, I'm getting a little frustrated with this right now. Now, here's something, in case none of you know, there actually is an achievement for lining up 7 curse tiles. Now, I did not know that, so maybe next time I do this, I'll, take a shot at it just to get it done. Because I could clearly have it done here. But I didn't know it was a thing, so I didn't even think about it. And he added more curse tiles, which ended up doing damage to me. Now, to be fair, it's one of those things where you have to do it on a run where you don't mind just basically putting yourself in harm's way or flat out killing yourself. Because, yeah, it's... he's probably going to hit me here, because I don't think I thought that particular move through very carefully. And very clearly, no, I didn't. Moves, so I'm pretty sure I can put that together. Could I have killed him there? I'm honestly not sure. Now Buzz Right comes into play. Oh, look at it. Such a good move. Now that our defenses are in place. There we go. Sometimes the learning process takes a minute. What can I say? But it was the idea that he had lost so much time in his development that the game seems to just be being so frequently updated and slowly gaining the features that it probably should have had at launch. He decided to launch it early, so to be fair, yeah, the game did kind of launch a little unfinished, but it's being very rapidly patched.
More better trash? Even more bigger coin? It mystery. With no thinking, Bumbo throw open tiny door and throw Bumbo down into the unknown depths below.
And that's basically it. I unlocked the basement. We'll be playing through that in the next real episode. And when I say real episode, I mean the next episode where I get to do my normal voiceover while I'm recording. There's the birds. I was wondering when they were going to come in. And that about wraps things up. So, hopefully you enjoyed. I'll try to do this a little bit less Zapruder next time. But hopefully everyone got to have some fun with this. I know I have fun making these videos. And I'll be back with some more stuff soon. And so until next time, this is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you. Cue fade out.